G'day, welcome back to Coffee and a Chat. Actually, today should be coffee, a chat, and a cat. I'm stuck at home today. It's winter, it's raining, it's bucketing down outside. Yeah, it's really, winter has struck with a vengeance, so just making the most of what we can do. So I'm here doing editing in the edit studio and doing some research and working on some stuff, videos you've all been waiting to see. But I thought, hey, time for a bit of a chat. I want to go over some of the things that I've seen in the media actually in the last week or so. But first of all, some updates on things that I know you want to know about. The DJI digital FPV system is on its way to me. It should be here tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be here tomorrow, and then I'll start looking at that and giving you some more information. My letter to the Minister of Transport has gone unanswered. No response yet. So I'm going to give him another week, and then I think we'll do an open letter. An open letter, and we'll send it to the media, because if this issue is so low in the importance scale that it's not worth responding to someone like myself, then it's certainly not worth imposing all sorts of restrictions and controls and registrations and things on people who are just having fun with toys. So we have to call them on this one. And what will I look? I've got my little list of bookmarks here to talk about things. First of all, oh yeah, drones and privacy. Drones and privacy. This has been one of the big niggles that the public has. Oh, these drones, they're spying on me. There was an article here in New Zealand, maybe a year or so, it must have been, yeah, it was summer. A woman and her daughter complained bitterly because a drone was flying over them while they sunbathed by their swimming pool for half an hour. You think they could have worked out that if you went inside, the drone couldn't see you. And anyway, the same young lady was, if you looked at her Facebook page, full of pouting, and she had more pictures on social media of her in a bikini, I think, than anyone was going to get with a drone. It's just the way the world goes. But drones and privacy, it's a big thing. It's a big niggle from the public. The media has told the public that we are evil people. We are perverts. We're trying to spy on them. And I've always said, well, what about full-size aircraft that fly overhead? Surely they could have cameras. How would you know? And in fact, if we look at, let me just bring this up here. Got to find it. Here we go. It says Daily Mail, so it's got to be true. The Daily Mail says, nude sunbather 54 sues police for £200,000 over invasion of privacy after an officer was jailed for using a false helicopter to film her in her garden. So there we go. Not only was it a helicopter, but it was a policeman in a helicopter. Really, if you can't trust the police, who can you trust? And if you can't trust the police, who can you trust to enforce drone rules? There's a little, oh, come on. I hate hypocrisy. I really hate hypocrisy. It looks like I've got two sets of laws, one for the people who make the laws and one for the people who have to follow them. So yeah, seriously, interesting note. I had someone comment on one of my videos saying, oh, you know, these drones, pervs use them. And I just did some quick research and I had a look. If you look for upskirt prosecution on Google News for the past year, you will find 8 pages, I think I found, of people that have been prosecuted for using their cell phones to film up ladies' skirts in public places, like on a subway or in public areas or on the bus. 8 pages of instances where people had been prosecuted, not just suspicions, but actually prosecuted for filming ladies' nether regions with their smartphones. Now, how many prosecutions have there been for people flying drones and allegedly getting, raunchy pictures of people by their swimming pools or through their bedroom windows? I think if we are going to regulate drones on the basis of, they could be used by perverts, then we need to ban cell phones, because obviously they are being used. It's not just they could be, but they are being used every single day by people to take rather unsavory photographs that really they ought not be taking. So yeah, let's keep things in perspective. In fact, I've been thinking of doing a media page, a resource page for people who are trying to fight against all the ridiculous claims by the media and the impositions by regulators, to point you to the facts and the reality, and basically cash a reality check on this whole damn thing about how drones, privacy, safety, all those things, because when you look deeply, when you actually get in and look at the facts, these reports are completely wrong. Now, the next thing I'm going to point you at is a really good video. This guy put a video up. He was flying, he's a pilot, and he spotted a drone from his plane, but he didn't make all sorts of claims about, oh, I was nearly killed. He actually pointed out how safe it was. The drone was being flown safe. It was actually a flying wing, I think, a model aircraft being flown quite legitimately, quite reasonably, quite safely within the rules And he pointed it out that you could see it from his light aircraft. Obviously, if you look at the video, it's a 4K video, you can only just see it. So, and he was only, what does he say? Let me see. I think he was at 2,000 feet over an RC field. I don't know what the elevation of the field was. Usually when you're flying in aviation, the altitude is above sea level. So I don't know what height he was above ground, but he's 2,000 feet. He looked out his window with his camera and he saw this flying wing. Now, flying wings tend to be reasonably large. If you could only just see it at 2,000 feet, how on earth do these airline pilots see tiny little drones at much, much greater distances? Ooh, look at the eagle eyes. And another thing, actually, Alan, you mentioned this on his vlog. I was going to mention it anyway, but I saw Alan mentioned it. Some pilots reported a drone sighting. I think was it in Canada? I'm not sure. They saw a drone. It was, I forget. Anyway, I'll put a link to it in. I'll put a link to the stories in the description of this video, so you can go and look for yourself. But basically, they saw a drone, and it was donut shaped. And I'm thinking, and Alan thought the same thing. It's not a drone. It's UFO. I've never seen a donut shaped drone. Have you? But UFO, it was a traditional shape, disc or saucer or donut shaped. It's a UFO. So even when it's UFO, it's still a drone now. So the aliens have to take some of the blame for all these incidents, surely. And of course, we're always being told that we could crash our drones and hurt people. With our little Mavics or our little, mini quads, whatever, we could crash and hurt people. So we must be very careful. Yet I see once again, for I don't know how many, this has happened repeatedly, but in Wales, a military drone has crashed into some trees. It flew across a road and crashed into some trees because the pilot pressed the engine stop button when it was trying to do a go-round. Do they train these people? I don't know. But they're allowed to fly drones, obviously also beyond visual line of sight, and all the things that we're not allowed to do because with our tiny little models, because it's far too dangerous. These guys with their great big military drones, they can do it with impunity, and they crash near schools and they crash near roads and things, but that's okay because it's all in the name of security and safety. How does that work? And finally, my Aussie friends, I haven't forgotten you. I'm still working on that video. I've got, CASA just put out a thing. I got an email the other day for their new Civil Aviation Amendment, Remotely Piloted Aircraft, Model Aircraft Registration Accreditation Regulations for 2019, which, for the purposes of recreational flying, in our 2020, because as I said in the last little rant I did, it's a little bit too hard for the little tiny-brained politicians to work out, but I'm going through it with a fine-tooth comb. So hopefully what I'm going to do is provide Australians with a whole lot of stuff to throw back at your politicians, throw back at your regulators, and ask them, please explain, because there's a lot of stuff that I can't see how they can explain it. It's like sheer lunacy, absolutely crazy. Anyway, so just, stay tuned for that. But these were just a couple of the little things I saw in the news in the last week or so, and I thought, worth raising. There is so much rubbish going on. I've been looking at some of the videos, some of the news stories posted. Now look at the comments. Look at the comments that people leave. The great unwashed, the Luddites who all drones are dangerous. I look at that stuff, and it's clear that the media has done such a fantastic job of brainwashing people. People are so anti-drone. It really is quite depressing. Well, if I was given to being depressed, I'd be depressed, but I'm not. I'm an up kind of guy, upbeat kind of guy. So I just, what can you do? There's nothing you can do about it except just accept it and move on. And try and educate people when I go out in public with my drone. If I see anybody, if you noticed in my epic vlog video, there was only one person in that whole video apart from me, and that was only fleeting. He walked behind me. Usually I go and fly when there's not a lot of people around, because obviously you don't have to deal with the fallout associated with being an evil pervert with flying your drone, so you're looking for aircraft to knock out of the sky. So it's easier, it's just so much easier just to do it when there's no one around. You don't have to explain yourself. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's the situation here, and that's the situation all over the world. People are stupid. Believe it or not, half the population of the world has a sub-average IQ. Yes, we have to live with that. Never mind. The rest of us fly drones. Okay, that's it. Just a quick coffee. I know you like me to keep these things short. Thank you very much. Thanks to my Patreon supporters. Did you see the effect of my Patreon supporters? Did you see that? And one thing you'll notice is, while I've been here stuck behind a computer in the rain and the cold and the drizzle, I've been doing a bit of playing with my VFX. So yeah, there'll be more interesting stuff coming up from that perspective. So just stay tuned, stay watching. Lots of videos in edit, and I'm editing. So yeah, the 250 build, yeah, nearly done. I would like to take a couple of reshots, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to use the footage I've got, because otherwise it'll never get done. Anyway, questions, comments to the usual place. And if you're a new subscriber, have a look, or a new viewer, have a look at my back catalogue. Go onto my channel page and have a look through the old videos. There's bound to be something there that will really piss you off and outrage you. So go and have a look, because most people aren't happy unless they're feeling unhappy. I've noticed that. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Got to get on with getting on. Bye for now. Enjoy your coffee, by the way. Oh, links are in the description, I forgot to say. And channel support links in the description. You can always check the description out on my videos, because there's heaps of stuff in there that sometimes I even forget to talk about. Anyway, now I'm going.